Welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm sitting here with Lori Stern, who is the owner of a new restaurant called Cow and Quince in New Glarus. Lori, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
So good to have you here. And tell us a little bit about what you brought here. And I don't know if we can really see it on the screen here, but we brought a couple of things. Tell us what these are.
So basically, these are just like a little small bite. So they're a maple sage shortbread cookie with butternut squash butter, Farmer John gorgonzola cheese, and a spicy pecan.
Oh,
so
wow.
just a sweet little bite. So I don't know, it's always nice to bring food when food is what you work with all the time.
And you said it was a little spicy, so maybe after the interview we could
have
do
a
it.
little pop
Otherwise
it in,
we'll
sure.
Be going the whole time. So, okay. So one of the things that's really intriguing about your restaurant is you're really trying to focus on locally produced food, and it's my understanding that you didn't even really start out with a restaurant concept. It was more of just being like grocery and providing local food, and then you kind of decided, well, let's explore the restaurant end of things. In the winter here in Wisconsin, there are not many farms that are producing during the winter. Like, how do you plan to get through that? Through the long winter where you can't get the local food as readily.
I know it's going to be a challenge because we opened at the end of September, which wouldn't have been the ideal thing to do. So we had peppers and tomatoes that we could put up that would get us through the winter a little bit. Otherwise, our chef is looking at a pretty long Wisconsin winter with lots of microgreens, potatoes, squash, onions. But in terms of getting through the winter, I think part of it is just getting folks out of their houses. So we're looking at doing some special events. We have monthly dinners planned. So we just had one this last weekend that was very successful. The end of January, we're going to do a collaboration with Fisher King Winery in Mount Horeb, and we're going to do a wine pairing dinner. We'll do a Meet the Cheesemaker dinner and potentially a Meet the Beekeeper for the woman who supplies us honey. And so people have the opportunity to kind of get out of their houses, experience an amazing 4-course meal, and meet some of the folks that actually produce the food that they're eating.
Yeah, meeting the person who supplies the food, I think, is such a huge thing that we nowadays in our society, we kind of take for granted that, oh, it's food, but we don't really know the people who produce it, and it's so nice to be able to put a face with that. So I'm just curious, how does Cow and Quince compare to other farm-to-table restaurants that you might that people might be familiar with?
It's really funny. I think we started Cow and Quince just merely because we live in New Glarus. We're surrounded by farms. We live on a farm.
Okay.
We have a bed and breakfast on our farm, and a lot of the folks that were coming to visit us were asking where they could get a farm-to-table meal, and certainly we were feeding them breakfast, and that counted. But being in a small town has its own challenges in terms of, even though we were surrounded by farms, really hard to get local food. And we're a small town, and so the demand isn't as great as it would be, let's say, in Madison.
Right.
One of the things that we have learned since we've opened is a lot of the folks from larger cities, when they come into Cow and Quince, are just really surprised at the price point, the casual atmosphere. I think farm to table has become synonymous with sort of upscale dining, and we really wanted to be approachable. Sure. Our chef is from New Glarus. He cooked at a really wonderful restaurant that's there and has cooked other places and understands kind of the Midwest palate, along with trying to say, we want to eat what is available to us in Wisconsin. So keeping it approachable, I think, and casual and affordable, so that even those of us that live in New Glarus feel that we can access that food and come in and have breakfast or lunch. I mean, we really started as a casual dining, and the dinners are something we do as special events.
Absolutely. So how do you guys decide what goes on the menu and what you sell on the shelves?
So we try to have this kind of symbiotic relationship. So basically what you see on the shelves when you come in that you might want to purchase as a grocery item is exactly what we're using in the kitchen. We don't even own a can opener, which is really great. So the eggs that you can purchase in the cartons is what we're using in flats in the kitchen. So all of our ingredients that whether it's making our waffles or what the meat that's in our dishes, the dairy, it's all locally sourced and very transparent, because you can purchase it on the shelves, and we're using the same food. So it also, I think, helps because we're small, being able to use it in both places. So customers can come in and buy meat to prepare at their own houses, and we're using the same meat to put in dishes that we serve on the plate. So it's a nice way to have two outlets really in one business for the food.
Absolutely. Well, Lori Stern, I want to thank you so much for coming out and talking about Cow and Quince.
Absolutely.
Head on down to New Glarus, check out Cow and Quince. It's great food, it's farm to table. We'll be right back with more Talk of the Town.